All right. All right, going back to video games over here. Let's go ahead and make sure the mark the death and the video games. My next spicy take. I'm actually going to take a sip. Starfield will not be a game of the year contender. I think Starfield is a game that will get probably relatively positive scores. I'm thinking probably like mid eights, right? But I don't think that's going to be enough, especially this year, to warrant and I'm talking about game awards, right? So at the end of the year, game of the year, right? We got 5 games coming out. Typically, there's always a couple like indies in there. And, this year we've already kind of we had Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush was very well reviewed, right? So there's that. I think you can already probably lock in Spider-Man 2 and Tears of the Kingdom. I think that those are 2 games that are always going to be set in there, right? And we're saying this without really even knowing what's coming out later on this year. There's still a lot open that could be released. There's a Hollow Knight Silksong, right? Again, there's a lot of unknown there, but I think right now we have 2 that are going to be set no matter what. And honestly, based on the track record of Bethesda and where they've currently been at, I just do not believe that this is going to be that game that blows everybody out of the water and is like, oh my god, this is a game of the generation, right? There's not many games of the generation so far. I would say that I'm playing one of them. Outside of that, you can make some arguments, right, for God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West. But, even those I would say are questionable, games of the generation, and we'll actually be talking about Ragnarok here, maybe a little bit later on. But yeah, I don't think that Starfield is going to just completely blow the socks off. Again, I think it's going to be a good game, but based on everything that we've seen so far, I just think that it's, we're just sitting here being like, oh my god, you can explore thousands planets. But why do I want to do that? I don't think the game is, sat there and told me, why I want to go ahead, spend all this time doing all these things, right? And if it's just quite frankly another Fallout in space, I'm just like, okay, well, I feel like I've played these games before and I don't really need to, it's like one of those things where I'll play it and it'll be one of those things where, at least right now, it looks like it's just going to be one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I know what these games are and I know what they do, and that's fine and good and all that, but it's not going to necessarily just completely blow me away. And I think that that's how a lot of people are feeling right now. And so yeah, I do not expect. Let me make sure to not die here as well. Yeah, it's really hard to get a good opinion out when you're playing a video game. But yeah, I don't think that that's. I'm not high on Starfield right now, and who knows? Maybe when we get the showcase later on, we'll see something. But everything that they've shown so far has just led me to just being like, okay, this is going to be probably a good game, but not a great game. So there you go. Starfield will not be a game of the year contender. And not to mention also, I know they're giving it all this time Like, we understand that they're like, well, we got to give it to no bugs, no something like that. But, man, we have not seen Bethesda be able to do that at all. I mean, I cannot think of a single game that they have released that was not completely buggy. I mean, even Fallout 3, which is a game that, again, people like to hang their hat up, right, about how good Bethesda really is. How long ago that game come out? And yet we're sitting here being like, oh, man, they still got this stuff. Like, nah, I'm more of a, what have you done for me lately, as opposed to, sitting back and relying on, all this, all the old stuff that they've done in the past there. So yeah, I don't have a lot of high hopes right now, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Bit aggressive. Okay, there we go. And yeah, I think we've already been here. Yeah, that's a statue. Okay, so now I've got my bearings. I know where to go. I know where I messed up before, but I actually, yeah, I didn't even grab. Well, good thing I did die, because I did not grab the treasure there either. Nomadic cookbook. Yeah, because I think in that door there's a grace. But I do want to kind of continue on here. Yeah, so there's my runes. There we go. All right, 2 heals. Don't love that going into this fight. Although, yeah, let me actually craft some arrows. Oh my god, I'm a fucking moron. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm distraught after I just used that heal. Okay, well. Let's pull you. Oh, wow. Okay, I did not know you guys all did that. So, well, that's new to me. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm totally safe distance away from this guy. But it was like, no, this guy got Jordan hops over here just completely coming for my throat. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, wow. Man, hit me with that wombo combo over here. Oh, boy. I couldn't even get away from that as much as I tried. All right. Okay. 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 All right. I thought I was being smart too. Pulled a knight. But yeah, that guy really messed me up. All right, we're going back to the well. Going back to video games over here. All right, well, since I've talked about it, or I know, Sky, I know this is one's going to be a little spicy. I don't know if the people are ready to hear this one, but hang on, let's get back. Let's get back to where we're at. But yeah, for my next spicy take, God of War 2018 is a better game than God of War Ragnarok. And I'm going to say right now, I don't think it's particularly close. I'm not saying that God of War Ragnarok is a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. It is definitely one of the better games that came out last year. It's not like I'm sitting here doing top 10 lists or anything like that. But, when I thought about it, even today when I was thinking of coming up with like topics, for me, it would have probably been my number 4 game of the year. I think if I were to rank my games of the year, number 1 would be Elden Ring. Number 2 would be Vampire Survivors. And then number 3 would be Immortality. Just because I really enjoyed Immortality. I thought that was just a unique experience overall. That I personally really loved, and I thought the storytelling in that was just fantastic, right? And quite frankly, I thought the storytelling in Immortality was a lot better than God of War Ragnarok. Again, I don't think that God of War Ragnarok by, again, any stretch of the imagination, especially when you look at video game storytelling as a whole, right? Like, we'll get into it maybe a little bit later, but I would say that I think that there's a lot to be desired and a lot to be expected when it comes to video game storytelling that's currently like not happening. We've seen it happen, right? We just got The Last of Us, the TV show, right? And quite frankly, that was a TV show that just, for my money, just basically just stole pretty much everything from the game, outside of the Bill and Frank stuff. But everyone's sitting there talking about how great that story is. And, it's because the video game really laid the foundation there. And I do not think that God of War Ragnarok gets kind of close to that. I think God of War 18 does, though. And I think that's a lot of it has to do also, it's a lot harder to make the sequel, and I am well aware of that, right? Because with the sequel, you do have to go bigger, you have to go badder, right, with everything, and really kind of aim things up where the pressure was less on 2018, right? Just because they had Ascension, right? Ascension was a game that wasn't really well received, right? I mean, it was okay, but, it looked like the God of War franchise as a whole was just going to kind of die down. And so they didn't really have a lot of expectations, and so they could go in and kind of do, what they wanted with the story as a whole. And I thought that what they did, right, especially with the Kratos, just turning Kratos around completely. I thought that was just a masterclass. I think that overall it was just, the fact that they went with such, it was, it's stories that I really love, right? Which is, kind of a simple story, right? But with complex characters. And I think that the characters overall were, I thought was better served in 2018 than they did Ragnarok. namely because I didn't really love a lot of the side characters that we got in Ragnarok, right? And overall, I thought that really kind of it took the focus away from what we saw in like 2018, where with 2018 they're really focusing on the Kratos and Atreus, their bond and their story, right? And that was the video game. Whereas, I thought Ragnarok expanded more and tried to do more, but I felt like, the characters that got more to do or were introduced in Ragnarok, I just, anytime that those stories kind of came up in the game, I kept wanting to go back to the Kratos and Atreus stuff. And even on that side of things, right? I thought that, the story that we got in 2018 was better for the Atreus and Kratos. I think that, one of the things that, I know a lot of people really bashed the Ant-Man and the Wasp film for was the fact that you have a bunch of characters, right? And they're not talking to one another because of the whole, oh, I'm trying to protect you thing, right? Just, that whole trope is something that we've seen kind of time and time again for people like not divulging information. And I felt that Ragnarok did the exact same thing. So, while I think, Ragnarok is definitely a better, piece of media than, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, I still think that, you can't just sit there and be like, well, this is the thing that I like because it's, because it's something that I enjoy more. It doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve the same criticism for kind of doing the same thing. That's something that, people didn't necessarily enjoy it as much. So yeah, I definitely think that there was a lot of that going on. And, particularly I felt that, some of it, I understood Kratos' side of things, right? Because, even at the beginning, right? He's sitting there, he's training Atreus, right? Because he is trying to prepare him for his eventual death. And I totally understand that. Atreus, not so much. Like, I don't understand why he would not, when he learns about the prophecy, I don't understand why there's just not a conversation about that. And so all that I felt like was really weak. The whole, I can't remember her name now. The Agubayo, I'll probably have to look that up a little bit here. Abayu was, again, another character that, I thought was interesting, but, we get that little segment in the game, or not even a little segment. We get that whole segment, right, where their story's told throughout this entire level, and then we just hardly see that character again in the game. And to me, I felt that was really weird to do that. I was like, well, I was kind of hoping that we would maybe get a little bit more fleshed out with them, but it's like, no, we're just, you're come and gone, right? You serve your purpose. And I thought that was really weird, the choice. The stuff with Freya, I think that I had even problems with Freya in 2018, right? I did not love the fact that at the end of it, when you kill Boulder, she's in there being like, I'm going to just rain fire on you and all this stuff, and I'm going to murder you and your son, especially because like that character didn't, never showed any sort of tendencies like that before that, which, I get it. Murdered son, all that stuff, right? But the son was like a murderer, like multi murderer, right? And I just could not, I just didn't really believe the fact that she would just so quickly turn, especially when we seen their son do all these bad things, right? And I love my dogs, but if one of them goes all Cujo, I'm like, all right, well, looks like I just got to put him down, it's a simple fact. The fact of the matter is, oh, there we go. Oh man, I almost died again. Sorry, I'm going on my rant here. I'm not paying attention to this game whatsoever. Okay, well, at least we got that done out of the way. Yeah, and just, wasn't set up very well. And maybe there's some backstory, maybe there's some piece of lore that was written in the game that I just didn't maybe pay attention to. But I feel like that kind of stuff, needs to be front and centered in the game for me to have a better understanding of these characters as a whole there. So, yeah, not saying that Ragnarok is a terrible game by any stretch of the imagination. Again, it would probably ended up on my number 4 game of the year. But I think that, and then I also do think that there's some, with going bigger, right? They wanted to throw more characters at you in terms of, just putting more bodies on screen. And I felt like the more they did that, and granted, this is more towards the end of Ragnarok as a whole, I felt like, keeping the same combat system that they had in 2018. I don't think it was really designed for that. And I had a really tough time actually just navigating and knowing like where the enemies were that I needed to strike. And I felt like I just kind of constantly just kept tipped, not because of anything I was doing, right? Just because I couldn't really tell, where the games were. So that's a little bit more on the gameplay side of things of why I didn't really enjoy as much as well. So, I do think that there's, a lot of high highs when it comes to Ragnarok, especially compared to 2018. Obviously the Thor fight at the very beginning, that's definitely a highlight because not only did it set the stage right, but it also introduced us to Thor. I thought all that stuff was great. And I think that all the Asgard stuff was fantastic. I honestly kind of wish that was just a game in and of itself, right? Because I do want to see more and more, of that world. And I felt like that was, again, something that was very unique to that Ragnarok experience. So, again, had some high highs there, but overall, I would say that I preferred my time in 2018 a lot more. So there you go. How's that for controversy, Mr. Internet? Okay, let's try not to die here, because okay. I don't know what to do here. Okay. I think we gotta go. Well, first things first, right? Let's just take these guys out. Okay. Well, my girlfriend's over here murdering my dog. So, just choking him to death, really.
Choking him with my love.
And they're still choking. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. All right. Yep, that did not work out well for me. I was, I was hoping to get him with that, nice little There we go. Okay, you done. There we go. Whew, barely got off that drop in there. Okay. So there's that giant beast thing. What's it called? Let's see here. Let's go to the book on this one. So what do we got here? So we are looking at the Elder Lion. Okay, I like that name. We got ourselves an Elder Lion. Wait, we don't want to. We do not want to try to go up there because we will get our. We are. That's just not going to be a good time for anybody. I was going to feed them at my break, but if you want to feed them now, that's fine. Yep. Here's the Elder Lion. Oh, hello. Okay. Oh, hello. Okay, okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Oh shit. We are stuck. That actually was not a horrible idea. That was a bad idea, though. Oh, mother. Okay, we might have to... Yep. Nope. We are not going to survive this. We are not going to survive this. We are done. Yep. Okay. Okay. I should have hit that grace. I didn't hit that grace, didn't I? No, I did not. Oh, Elden Ring. This is a little bit more my stupidity than Elden Ring's stupidity, but yes, okay. What'd you do?
Not happy that she doesn't have fresh food.
Soka doesn't like her fresh food?
No, I didn't give her fresh because she didn't eat any of her dry this morning.
Yeah, Soka's been a little bit on the... I would say...
Preteen?
Yeah, temperamental was the word that I was thinking about. But she sometimes just won't eat her food. Well, the thing is, we give her dry food and wet food, right? And she loves the wet food, but not the dry food. So we try to just mix it all together so that way, you know, she enjoys her meal as a whole. But lately, or this hasn't even really been a lately thing, she has been very picky about eating the dry food once she finishes the wet food. And so, yeah. And so basically, you know, as any good parent does, you know, you have to sit there, you have to eat your food. And so if she doesn't finish her food in the morning with just, you know, if there's dry food left over in the morning, we'll just give her dry food in the afternoon for lunch because we're not going to, you know, you got to finish your food, all the food there. So then she'll, basically complain and want us to go ahead and put some more of that wet food goodness in there. So, but all right, time to keep it going. All right, we got more video games here. All right, we're gonna probably. This probably is not going to be. This probably is going to probably be the least popular opinion there, and I think there's some logistic things that I think there's definitely a lot of logistics in here that probably doesn't mean that this is possible, but I do think that video games should cost more depending on the game itself, right? I think that video game development has gotten to a point where there are just so many completely unrealistic expectations when it comes to the sales of games. And I mean, I get it, right? You have to make a profit. This is a business at the end of the day. You have to go in there, you have to make a profit. And so if you spend X amount of dollars on the production of the game and the marketing of the game, you're going to be, the expectation is that you're going to have to sell, 2 to 3 million copies or whatever. I think that, Forspoken was the most recent one, right? Where, based on like the budget, they needed to sell 2 to 3 million and it didn't get close to that. Whereas, you have something like, Harry Potter Hogwarts, right? Sold 20 million, all this stuff. And so there's obviously some leaps and bounds when it comes to the overall sale numbers. But I do think for a game, but I think that they're, it's kind of similar games, right? So, Forspoken, right? Big kind of open world, adventure game that, maybe again wasn't critically acclaimed, but I mean, that game costs a lot more to make than your typical, FPS or whatever. I mean, it's hard to like quantify this based upon like games, but okay, so let's see here. I am about to die because I'm not paying attention to this. Hang on, let me just go ahead and die real quick and then I can finish my thought there. So, okay, maybe I just need to do that in general. Make sure to finish the thought before I actually start playing the game. Okay, well, there we go. We got ourselves another death there, so put it on that. Oh man, I also lost all those ruins too. Ugh. It's fine, Ruins, ruins are a dime a dozen in this world, I'm sitting here, I'm spinning my ruins left and right. But anyways, but let's talk about Starfield, right? Starfield has been a game that has been in development for God knows how long. Well, I guess that's actually a really hard game to talk about money-wise because it is going to Game Pass, day one. So obviously the sales for that are not going to be nearly as what you expect, something else there. So, but yeah, I'll go back to say like Forspoken there versus say something like Harry Potter Hogwarts, right? Forspoken didn't have nearly as long of a development cycle. It was very much talked about, right, where Harry Potter ultimately was a kind of a troubled development cycle. 5+ years. Sometimes some people saying 6 years, some people saying 5 years, and with that all costs money, right? And I think that's ultimately kind of. So a game like that is going to be expected to sell. Not to mention also you have a licensed IP. That IP costs money to, have for a game like Hogwarts versus something that's brand new, right? Forspoken probably it didn't have nearly the budget, right, for that, but they are kind of trying to do some similar things, right, just in terms of having it be kind of like an open world experience and everything like that. So, but ultimately, right, Harry Potter costs a lot more to make than, say, a Forspoken. And so I would think that a game like Forspoken, right, shouldn't be held to the same standards that a game like Harry Potter does. And overall, I think that would mean, there's always going to be controversy, right? Because, with a game, like if a game costs $80, right, then it's like, well, what does that mean as a consumer versus something that should cost like $40, right? Forspoken, I think it was probably a game that ultimately probably should have cost $40 versus the $70 there. But I think because it had that extra, or even $50, right? Because it had that extra, $30 or $40, it probably didn't sell as well as something, because I think that there was interest, even despite the bad reviews. I think there are people who were still interested in playing Forspoken, like myself, right? But they just ultimately, I ended up playing ultimately just kind of the demo, right? And it was one of the things from the demo I was interested in doing, but with the bad reviews, right? Also, whatnot, like loving the demo, instead of it being a game that I could, try out, that I would gladly have tried out for $40, ultimately I decided it wasn't worth that $70, right? Whereas with something like Hogwarts, right, to be this big, huge experience, right, comparatively to Forspoken, I think that probably should have been priced, higher, or it should probably landed right at that mark, right, of that kind of $70 there. And so, I think that there needs to be more tiers when it comes to things, just having a straight, $70 for pretty much everything. I just don't think that works well. And of course we have indie games, right? A lot of those are going to be more the $30, $40 game experiences and so forth. But, especially on the AAA side, because I think that there's all this like, AAA versus maybe a double A, a 2.5, right? Type of game. Which I think that we need more of those. But I think right now, because of the fact that, there are so many expectations that come with a $70 game experience, there's a lot of games that don't sell nearly as well as they probably would have had they originally came out at like a $40, $50 tier and so forth. So, yeah, there you go. Should be definitely tiers for different video games and how much they cost overall. All right, let's get back to it. We've got some skulls to crack over here. That was not my best showing. Okay, now even this guy's fucking me up. All right. Oh. Let's see here. Yeah, why are they all now just completely... They were like, 1 second they were ready to fight, and then the other one was like, nah, we're just going to chill. It's going to be a little dormant there. Ooh, actually, I kind of like that. All right, let's get the robes going. Oh yeah, no. You're not getting that off. Hey, Ahsoka not eating her food.
No.
Yeah. Hi, Sky. Oh, hi. Hello. You're just like, can I be internet famous? Can I be internet famous? I'm a dog. I'm a dog that likes to smile. All right, Sky, come on. Okay. Go get it. Okay, let's see here. If I could jump down there, that would be great. I could definitely. I don't really want to fight these people again, but you know what? Name of the game is to fight. Oh shit. There we go. Then again, I do need to get my runes back up because right now did kind of lose 1,000 of them. Okay. Or 10,000 of them. 2.9. Yeah. Too much. We probably don't need to do that. My headband? Get a nice little headband there. Kind of look like a turtle in the robe with the turtle shell. I'm just sitting there hiding in my shell. Actually, hang on. I think I can actually skip all of this. Maybe not. No, yeah, all right, we'll try it. So I was gonna say we can jump there, get down here. Yeah, nope. That is the opposite of what I expected to happen, but that's okay. I mean, let's see here. No, yeah, they're gonna mess me up. They will mess me up so hard. All right, let's pull you. And let's just make sure that when we beat these guys that we pull. Ooh, that was so close. Too close. There we go. All right. You're done. You get your goodies? No, we're not stealing your body parts. There we go. I kind of like their armor more, though. I like the kind of the robe going over to you. Oh, me. Look at me. I'm dark. I'm mysterious. You can't see my face. No, I don't want to do that because there's all these archer guys over here, right? Yeah, I remember coming down here, had to kill a bunch of them, and then we had to do... Oh, shit. I did not... Well... I died, but I didn't spin the wheel. So. All right, TV. First on the TV side of things, eh? So I guess this is just relevant because we got the Last of Us TV show series finale last night, which overall great finale. I had a really good time with the show overall, right? I thought that was very well done. I enjoyed, for the most part, I enjoyed pretty much every aspect of the show. But I would say my controversial opinion would be that while I thought that they changed a lot. I thought that they changed quite a bit for the show, little details, right? Overall, when I'm thinking about, like, when I was, like, watching the show, all I thought about, though, was just how I felt like I was really just kind of watching the video game as a whole. Outside, obviously we had the Bill and Frank episode, which was great. So that was definitely, I kind of wanted more of that because I think that, I just felt like they just didn't, change enough from the video game. And especially in that, last episode, especially, as soon as we get to the hospital I felt like I was just watching, beat for beat, the exact same thing that I watched in the video game. And I think when it comes to like an adaptation of something, I want them to take a little bit more risk with it. And so, yeah, I felt like it maybe wasn't 100% like necessary to adapt, The Last of Us, especially the first video game as a TV show there. Because I felt like we just very much were, for the most part of the show, we were just kind of watching the video game unfolding. And I get it, right? It's money. People, not everybody has a PlayStation that they can go and they can watch and they can go and experience the video game themselves. I understand all that. And I get why it was made overall. I just felt like there could have been some more creative risk with the game and the show itself there. So while I really enjoyed it, I thought, again, Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, they did an excellent job at portraying, Joel and Ellie. So it's not like it wasn't high quality. It was very much high quality. But I just felt like it could have I could have used a little bit more risk taking. And, not having this feeling, kind of constantly that I was just, just sitting back and, watching the video game unfold there. I think I want to drop down here. Oh, wait, nope. This is where we ended up, or where we started. So, actually, give me 1 second. I need some water. Throat's getting a little dry here from all these spicy takes, So, I'm going to go grab some water real quick. So, I'll be right back.